Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. It is episode 268, and I'm actually on a roll. It's like, this is Hurricane Milton Day. It passed through very early this morning. Everybody got up at 6 because we had the power coming on and off. And so by 8:30, it was time for my parents to move back to the trailer. We got everything all set up. Hub was out working on the trail. He is now taking a nap. I think my mom's husband is taking a nap as well because he was out helping clean up the yards here. So here I am with downtime. I can't believe it. Today was supposed to be a busy day of lots of interruptions. It is 78 degrees and I see some blue sky through the clouds. It might have stopped raining. It might still be sprinkling a little. So everything went well. The storm was windy and noisy, but everything worked well. And the generator did come on this morning. We have this generator that, you buy a house. It has this feature, but the feature does not hardly, well, we haven't had a chance to use it. It only came on once when my hub he was shopping, and it came on for like 30 seconds. So this morning we got to experience it coming on each time the power flickered and would go off for a minute or so. And I think it took over maybe 4 times and did great. The only thing that was crazy about what happened is my floor vac, which is a Yeetie, so we call her Yeetie, that is her name. One of the times of the power outage, she just started vacuuming the floor. So now we of course have all of our clocks need to be reset. Other than that, it was a pretty easygoing storm for us here. And so far, no damage. I think Hub said he saw some flashing from probably the drain spouts for somebody on the ground, but he couldn't tell readily which house it was from. So that's all the excitement. I hope everybody fared well through the storm and was safe about doing all that. So today I am going to tackle the pots with this extra little bit of time that I have. I have 3 colors. Then I have some metallics. So these are going to be the 3 colors. It's going to be terracotta colored. So this 25 is the lightest of the tone, and then we have 21 that's a medium tone, and then for shadows 24. So it's going to be pretty simple coloring just to keep it uncomplicated. I've already colored all of the flowers in all of the colors. So I had already committed to having the brightness be the pops of color of these flowers. So when Hub said, hey, do Southwestern colors, I was like, I don't think that I want to go that route and have it be too busy. I already have the busyness of the brick that I added. These pencils, again, feel like a dream, and they lay down nice and easy. They don't commingle their colors, so I can kind of glide this terracotta color lightly over these other burnished areas and not have to worry about any contamination. I almost thought about taking today off, as I said I might, because I did not go to bed until about midnight. I filmed really late too, the other half. So I thought, no, I want to keep going. I've got momentum. I've also posted a community picture of where I moved our recliners to, and I plan to leave them here for a while. So today when Hub got back and he had his lunch, breakfast, lunch, whatever he was eating, probably his first meal of the day, he actually came down here and sat, and my desk is right next to this recliner where I'm sitting. So we got to visit. I asked him if he was very attached to having these up in the living room where the TV is, and he said, no, not really. It is a beautiful view out our back windows. This room does not have air conditioning. It gets the AC through our big opening. Originally, this was designed to be an actual Florida room, like a screen room. And our neighbor's room, it is a screen for them. So they keep their big glass window closed. Our glass window I just use for if I'm filming while Hub is up, which I do for my card making. This is actually designed for this filming is generally when he's not there, though many times he will get up and I'll keep filming, so I'll finish. That is the joy of living in a very small space, but we are used to that since we have lived in a small space in the trailer for so long. It does not bother us. So I've got all of my craft supplies from years ago in 2016 when we sold our home. I packed all of that stuff up. I only kept my paper crafting and only actually a small set of my paper crafting. I was surprised how much I still have that's coming. So all of that is in St. Augustine at the Love's Travel Stop. I hope it's safe because I hear that up there they are going to be getting some flooding, still some storm surge and potential flooding. Here the rain has been very light but steady. Oh, I got my angle wrong there. So and then see I changed, so you can see I went way too long, and this tip is nice and flat, but that means when I rotate it, now it's really sharp. That's what I get for chatting. It is better for me when I rotate my pencil. It is harder, so that is one thing about the square pencils. It's easier to roll the round pencils to keep the tip somewhat uniform, and with this square it just makes me want to hold it in that position. So I want to keep my highlight down the middle of each of the pots. It might narrow as I add the color. So now I'm going to go in with the middle tone. This is the 21. That color was 25. This has a bit of a brown cast to it, so I'm not going to do a lot of it. Just going to mix it and then go right back to the light and then finish off with the shadow. See how much brown there is in that? The orange of the number 25 is very much necessary. I noticed when I was deciding if I wanted to do this color scheme that the 2 shelves of pots, 1 shelf of pots is a little bit more brown. The other shelf of pots that I did, I believe, at a separate time is more of the rust color or terracotta color. It feels a little awkward. I have gotten used to coloring with the book on the left side. I am left-handed, and so sitting here with the book on the right arm, is a little awkward. I'm not holding the pencil as well. I am holding it quite a ways back, knowing I'm going to build up a few light layers. So yes, as I sit here, I am definitely feeling tired, and my 6 hours of sleep. I did use earplugs, which I have learned how to use earplugs from years of travel and being in campgrounds where it can be noisy, especially at night. I figure it's Hub's job to be the guard dog, so he never uses earplugs. But I allow myself to use them so that I can sleep. I am curving in the shape of the pot. I'm allowing there to be imperfections. I don't want to be worrying about how smooth it is. Right, I said I was going to go back to the light, and I am. And then I still have my third shadow color. So as soon as I finish the pots, I have 3 wicker type items. One, I'm going to declare it wicker-ish. It actually could be some other material. It's not clear to me by the shape if it was intended to be wicker, because it doesn't have a basket weave pattern like the hat and the actual basket below it. So I think with that few items left that need a full color, we still have the hat, the boots, rubber boots, a seed box with some seeds in it. I've already colored the labels, and I think I will make the seed packet, not the label, maybe be a couple of random. There's 3 of them, so each one might be a random color from the flowers to keep everything pretty cohesive. I can tell it's my quiet day. I do have a story to tell. There's always a story every day. So I had moved plants from outside to 3 different places. Small plants came inside. If they didn't have a base plate, for the water to go into, I put them on one. I have a few of them floating around in different sizes. Bigger plants, I actually moved into the neighbor's garage. They have a huge garage. It's an RV garage and a car garage, and the RV is long gone. So we put the plants. I have what is it called? A dolly, a hand truck. That's what I've always called it, is a hand truck. And so I moved those over. And I left a few plants that I knew would be safe in the screen room. One of the plants was like against the wall, and it's kind of top heavy. It's an aloe vera. And it has grown. It's been with me for most of the time I have been here, and all of my plants have been free finds. And then I did buy a few, like a pack of 6 succulent starts, and then another start that they weren't called starts, they were clippings. So I have started a whole bunch of different succulent plants. So the succulents were all in. I had a start of a plant, and it again is an aloe vera, and it was in a taller pot. It always annoyed me because it was so top heavy. And when I went to move it this morning, boom, over it went, down for the count. Dirt everywhere. So I get some tools ready and try to clean up the mess. I move it. I set it down. I'm thinking everything's good. I'm moving another plant, and I just barely touch it. And boom. Down it goes again. I have to have a drink of water. Pardon me there. Okay, so I pick it up. I have my broom. The screen room is recent. I just dusted it, cleaned it, got rid of any of the other vegetation, like dead leaves. It was all clean, ready to be loaded back up. So now my plant is dumped twice. I know I have an extra black pot that's got a wider base that would be way better. I also see so many starts in this pot now that I figured I'll break it apart. So I break it apart. I put a very small piece in that tall pot that's tipsy. I have the dark pot started, not enough dirt available. Need to go get another tool. Everything's over in the garage, which I can't get to right now directly through the screen room because we have all of the slides out, which block the entrance to the door to the garage on this side. So I have to go through the house, out the front, and to the big garage door. Grab what other stuff I need. And then I'm doing something, and the darn thing fell over one last time. So my fingers, I got them mostly cleaned. They are filthy. I try not to do yard stuff. I'm like a plant person. Oh, Hub is up. At least I think he's up. So that was kind of my comedy of errors. I had to chuckle to myself about all that. I am surprised that he is up. Unless it's not him. No, that's him. So we're just doing light layers. Outside he went. Light layers. Building up this terracotta. I'm okay with some flaws because terracotta pots aren't perfect. I'm probably gonna narrow down my shadow light a little bit. Get some lighter layer going toward the middle. Make it a little less perfect if they're too straight. Going very soft. Now I'm going to be bringing the shadow in. Oops, that is me hitting the camera. I realized too, I've got grass here that I'm going to have to fill in. Some of this is really repetitive, so for the final, I'll do like bits of what I'm going to do, and then I'll probably go away and finish on my own time. This is a lovely brown, by the way. It is the number 24. It still has quite a bit of warmth to it, unlike 114, which is a very sepia color. So we're getting some shadows put in the midst of these flowers. And then I want to do the edges. I am doing somewhat linear ovals. And I'll blend it out. There's a line right there from like a pencil mark. This particular paper does that. The combo of the paper smoothness and the Brutfuner, and I actually like it. It kind of makes the wood, I've seen it in the wood and I've seen it on the pots, so it kind of gives these elements a bit of a natural distressing. It's so weird to not have my mom texting me constantly. We're finally caught up on all of the chores. And then it's kind of an off day, kind of like a Sunday. Everything is closed today. She texted me very early in the morning yesterday, like, I don't know, 7:30 or so, and says, I think I'm going to go to Walmart and get some dog food. They only have like 5 days worth of dog food, and just in case things are worse than we expect, it would be good to have dog food. However, I said, I don't think that that's open today. Hub's out and about. He actually really likes to drive around in inclement weather and check things out. So he was out at already 2 like Publix and Walmart and saw that they were all closed. I guess he went to the Circle K and got some juice because it's what he was on the mission for. I told him he would need juice. And he actually went there twice. He went back there after 8 a.m. to see if they opened, and they did not. So my closest experience to a hurricane day is a snow day in the Pacific Northwest. And we've had some doozies in my lifetime. Sometimes it's boring, it all melts away, and you want more. And then sadly, we've had some really crazy weather with the trailer. All right, those are looking pretty good. Oh, we're having a little pickup of some wind. More than just the average normal wind. So again, going in my ovals, lightish pressure, somewhat smooth, following the curve of the pots. Trying to remember to rotate. This right here is probably a mistake. I don't know if you catch that or if that bothers you. I don't know that I will fix it. Possibly not. But that should not be colored. I think the line is more like this angle. Again, these browns have a tiny bit of crumbling, just the teeniest, tiniest bit. I like that I can get these they're soft, but they keep a point pretty well. So I can just kind of dig right on in there to these little areas without any issues. And I'm not having to sharpen constantly. I do really like that. I hate having to sharpen over and over. I feel like I'm wasting the pencil. Luckily, since I do have a very extensive collection of sets, I don't feel like I'm going to wear my pencils out anytime soon. I try not to think about it. They're here to be used. I do somewhat have the phobia where you buy your supplies and then you don't want to use them, especially with paper. Beautiful paper, I just want to keep forever. It is meant to be bought and used, and yet I still struggle with that. For the most part, with the colored pencils, I have always thought of these as pencils to use, not to hoard. You can, so this section right here, I did some bigger loops. You can actually, as it approaches burnishing, it will start to give heavy lines. And those heavy lines, if you choose not to burnish, you want to keep going light layers, it is difficult to fix. So there's a careful balance of adding these light layers and then deciding to commit to what's there and to fill in the tooth. Okay, oh, I need this to be darker back here. I have to go back to the bright. We will see if this bright can be the last bit of bright. Back to bright. 25. Yep, it is ready to be burnished. I have not checked time. Nope, doing well. I am sorry if this is boring. This is a big chunk of very similar work. I actually don't mind at all doing kind of dissimilar things. And having those dissimilar things just slowly kind of make the coloring page turn into something fantastic. But these all were going to be colored together. There wasn't going to be a way to work around that. I also don't mind these having slight differences in color. So if I want to leave one of them lighter, like this tall one has a little bit different tone to me, I might just leave it and not give it this extra coat that's going to darken it up to the same tones as the, like this one and this one. Okay, I think what I'm going to do now, because I want enough time to finish it, I want to grab my metallics . Alright, so there's the pots. 3 colors produced that result. I am shaking. I have gold and I have silver. They are Posca pens. So let's just see. I've got the silver. And I have a scratch paper. Okay, that one's good. I haven't really had to reprime these yet. This will be my 3rd time using them. Okay, so we're just going through and doing some fun shapes. Oh, I see that. Very nice. Okay. Silver handle. Because why not? I am mixing my metals. I see this I must have bumped it. I am enjoying these Poscas. I have never used them. I do have a video of getting them. I actually, for the first time in my life, found a good sale at Joann. That's after having not shopped there in forever. Okay. I'm not worrying about the highlights. These lines should not go all the way across, but I'm going to let them just to keep it really super simple. All right, let's do some leaves. I am going to continue on. I am hoping that my conversion work that I'm doing, Prisma 2-star J Gold, I will be able to finally get going on that before the weekend so that I can be done with it this week. I see some silvers left, and then up here, I'm gonna move it. I hope this is all dry down below. I want to keep these as little squares, and they will cover over the sepia. Probably not all the way, but most of the way, and I'd like to keep the lines. There are people who are so good at line work, you guys, that they can go in and, you know, go a little too far with like their white and then add the color, you know, the line back in. I am just not that person. Maybe with lots and lots of practice. Oh, good. So I can see the brown lines. I hope you guys see what I was trying to do there. Then like down here, I have some thicker lines, and I'm trying to cover them to make them thinner. I have some silver lines. We're at 39 minutes. I am going to be done early. That is very exciting. So the pots are going to be finished. There really isn't going to be enough time for me to focus on any other little element. So I do think that the next episode, now I have a choice. I'm a little bit ahead. I will post this tomorrow instead of today, because again, this is a bonus episode on Hurricane Milton Day. And so, one more session here, and I think this will be done, except all of the bits, like all of the background, including all of the grass. I might want to go ahead and play with that separately. On my own, I'll do a little bit of the background. I do have, so here's my pots all done. I could brighten them up if I want. I'll mull them over. I won't even show you what they look like compared to the pots that are up above, but these are the same colors as the pots that are up on the shelves. So again, I have just little bits. I have 5 specific different bits to do. And I do think that I can have that take most of the hour, and if there are 45 minutes. And then if there's any bit extra, I can play a little bit with the background. What I might do, because I still have the daily color small, I might do a poll to see what you guys, because I can slow it up now that we've finished the main images. I am happy to work on the background more completely with you guys. So I might go ahead and break it into 3 different sections now that we're down to the last bit. So I think that's going to be my game plan. I'll let you guys decide how much of the background you would like to participate with me on completing. And then we will do the 5 extra remaining pieces. Likely, I think I might finish this next week. I just don't want to rush it. That's my biggest thing. No need to rush. All in good time. So, do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. We will probably resume. I've got boats to do. I will probably do boats for Saturday. And maybe post a bonus episode of this, depending how quickly I would like to finish these 5 elements, and then get your input on the background. How much you guys would like to participate with me on it. So, I will see you on the next one, which will be tomorrow. It will be this one, and then the next day will be the next one. I hope that even makes sense. Everybody take care. See you then.